Today, we are in the streets of our country demanding that our president, Nicolas Maduro, be freed, be returned to our country because we are a sovereign, free, independent nation. More than 200 years of history. We have the right to resolve our conflicts through political means and through Venezuelan institutions.
Caracas woke to a fragile calm after a night of explosions and uncertainty. As Venezuelans absorbed the stunning news that President Nicolas Maduro had been captured by U.S. forces. By Saturday morning, residents cautiously stepped into the streets of the capital, their reactions sharply divided.
We were resting. We had just had a wonderful Christmas in peace and happiness, and suddenly we heard bombings from, bursts into tears, from the American Empire. We never imagined they would dare to do so much, because here in Venezuela, we are only building sovereignty, peace, and happiness with our president, Nicolas Maduro, the legitimate president whom Venezuelans elected to govern, and where we were building a commune project, where the Venezuelan people were organized and voting on projects, each in their own territory. This took us by surprise, and we truly feel it is a violation of our lives.
Some celebrated what they saw as the end of an era, while others denounced what they called a violation of Venezuela's sovereignty. The mood across the city swung between relief, disbelief, fear, and deep political tension. Supporters of the embattled president took to the streets, calling for his immediate release. They declared that Venezuela is a sovereign, free, independent nation and demanded that Maduro be returned to the country.
The UN and international laws have to take responsibility once and for all. This cannot stay like this, because if they do this here, they go further and go somewhere else, and by the time you realize it, they will have taken everything. Nobody does anything anymore, but here we are a warrior people. We are not afraid of what he did. We are staying here. We are going to defend this land with our blood. We are going to defend it like this.
Demonstrators accused Washington of illegal interference and warned that foreign control would only deepen Venezuela's crisis. U.S. President Donald Trump confirmed that American special forces carried out the operation, saying Maduro was seized and transported to the United States to face trial.
Late last night and early today, at my direction, the United States Armed Forces conducted an extraordinary military operation in the capital of Venezuela. Overwhelming American military power, air, land, and sea, was used to launch a spectacular assault. And it was an assault like people have not seen since World War II. It was a force against a heavily fortified military fortress in the heart of Caracas to bring outlaw dictator Nicolas Maduro to justice. This was one of the most stunning, effective, and powerful displays of American military might and competence in American history. And if you think about it, we've done some other good ones, like the attack on Soleimani, the attack on al-Baghdadi, and the obliteration and decimation of the Iran nuclear sites just recently in an operation known as Midnight Hammer. All perfectly executed and done. No nation in the world could achieve what America achieved yesterday, or frankly in just a short period of time. All Venezuelan military capacities were rendered powerless as the men and women of our military, working with U.S. law enforcement, successfully captured Maduro in the dead of night. It was dark. The lights of Caracas were largely turned off due to a certain expertise that we have.
Maduro and his wife, Celia Flores, are now in New York City. Maduro is being held at the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn and is expected to appear in Manhattan Federal Court on charges related to drug trafficking and weapons offenses. Trump outlined a sweeping vision for Venezuela's future, stating that the United States would temporarily run the country until what he described as a judicious transition of power could take place.
These highly trained warriors operating in collaboration with U.S. law enforcement caught them in a very ready position. They were waiting for us. They knew we had many ships out in the sea, just sort of waiting. They knew we were coming. So they were in a ready, what's called a ready position. But they were completely overwhelmed and very quickly incapacitated. If you would have seen what I saw last night, you would have been very impressed. I'm not sure that you'll ever get to see it, but it was an incredible thing to see. Not a single American service member was killed, and not a single piece of American equipment was lost. We're going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition. So we don't want to be involved with having somebody else get in, and we have the same situation that we had for the last long period of years. So we are going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition. And it has to be judicious because that's what we're all about. We want peace, liberty, and justice for the great people of Venezuela, and that includes many from Venezuela that are now living in the United States and want to go back to their country. It's their homeland. We can't take a chance that somebody else takes over Venezuela that doesn't have the good of the Venezuelan people in mind. We've had decades of that. We're not going to let that happen. We're there now, and what people don't understand, but they understand as I say this, we're there now, but we're going to stay until such time as the proper transition can take place. So we're going to stay until such time as we're going to run it, essentially, until such time as a proper transition can take place. We're going to have our very large United States oil companies, the biggest anywhere in the world, go in, spend billions of dollars, fix the badly broken infrastructure, the oil infrastructure, and start making money for the country. And we are ready to stage a second and much larger attack if we need to do so. So we were prepared to do a second wave if we needed to do so. We actually assumed that a second wave would be necessary, but now it's probably not. The first wave, if you'd like to call it that, the first attack was so successful, we probably don't have to do a second, but we're prepared to do a second wave, a much bigger wave, actually.
He also said Washington plans to take control of Venezuela's vast oil reserves, a declaration that has sparked alarm both inside the country and internationally. The political path forward remains deeply uncertain. Trump said the U.S. is in contact with Venezuelan Vice President Delcy Rodriguez, who has demanded Maduro's release and insists he remains the nation's legitimate leader. Meanwhile, opposition figure Maria Corina Machado has called for an opposition-backed candidate to assume power and lead a transitional government.